The Catechism defines chastity as the integration of sexuality within the person. Chastity is the integration of sexuality within the person. Chastity is not about not having sex. Chastity basically is about making sure that any sexual act that happens in our lives is integrated with our whole being, our emotions, our thoughts, our plans for the future. I would like to say a couple of things about chastity and same-sex couples. We know that church doctrine is, well, marriage is only between a man and a woman, and that's settled doctrine as of this moment that I'm speaking to you. This doctrine is based on the belief that people who are having a same-sex relationship are going against how they were created by God. So basically they're doing this because of other reasons, but it is a choice. They're choosing to be with someone that they are not naturally inclined to have this emotional, mental, spiritual, romantic connection with. So what's at the center of this discussion is whether you choose to be LGBT or whether you are born that way. Church, the same as government, they are institutions that exist to conserve the stability of society. That's one of the main roles of these two institutions. So both church and government don't change overnight, and if they do change, it's because there's some more substantive reason. So for instance, at some point in history, church teaching was that the earth was flat and the sun revolves around the earth, and then Galileo came and said, you know what, the earth actually revolves around the sun, and you just have to observe the stars and see this, and the earth actually it's moves and it's not flat. So at this point the church wasn't ready to say this is true until more substantive scientific research, I guess you could say, came about, and that's when this doctrine changed. Am I saying doctrine is going to change? I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is that when you talk to LGBT people and when you listen to their stories, they can tell you, you know, this is how I was born, this is how I was made. Now, you may not agree with it, but the point is that to them, to people who are in a same-sex relationship, they are not going against God, they are not sinning. Actually, they're honoring that chastity, they are honoring that integration of their sexuality with every other aspect of themselves, their emotions, their plans for the future, when they are with a person of the same sex, because they are wired to have this romantic connection with people of the same sex. Now, we may not know why or what's God's purpose for this, but they do not choose to go against church doctrine. To them, this is not a choice. And now, as we become a listening church and we start listening to stories and you start becoming friends with LGBT people, you're gonna hear a variety of stories, okay? Not all stories are the same. You're gonna hear stories of people who have chosen to remain chaste. You will find stories of people who have partners, and you will find that they can be equally holy, and it's gonna be absolutely mind-blowing. For me, being LGBT has been a gift. It has been a blessing.